You're listening to the One Step Deeper podcast with your host, Jimmy Moore and Brittany Davis. OneStepDeeperPodcast.com.
Oh, I can tell you have the fresh color in your hair. We talked about it yesterday.
Little I was gonna say vibrant, and then it came out vibrant because I was said vibrant. It's very vibrant.
Let me give you some tough love and say, speak clearly, my dear.
Oh goodness, man, I'm pumped for today's episode.
You are pumped for a lot of reasons. We are, as of the recording of this, just a couple days away from you accomplishing that big goal, the 75 hard we've been talking about a lot lately on the show. I'm in, as of the recording of this, day 28 of my journey of 100 days. I feel like it's like forever and ever, amen. And you see the finish line and you're just like, dun, 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 dun. You're right there. So.
But I remember my day 28 and like, there was a lot of tough love I had to give myself on my journey. And like, I feel like there were these coasting moments where I would have a couple days that just went good. I was just coasting, and then I have a hard day, and then I coast for a little bit. And like these last few days, I'm just coasting. I'm just vibing. I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to deliver some tough love to some other people.
You were funny going through that process because I was with you the whole way. And there were moments where, you were all excited and everything. And then some moments that you were just in despair. And I had to give you a lot of tough love in those moments. Let's get into that in a minute. I want to talk about that. But if you haven't noticed, guys, today in episode 42 of One Step Deeper, we're going to talk about the tough love you didn't know you needed. And it's something that I feel like people say they don't like tough love. But if they really stop and think about it, someone giving you tough love, not just criticism, because love without or giving you love, or giving you criticism, but no love, that's not tough love. That's just a hater. And so somebody that actually loves you tells you things that are hard because they love you and they want to see you be better. So excited to get into that here today. OneStepDeeperPodcast.com is the website. Go check us out, you guys. Everything is on there. The video's embedded, the audio, all of it's there. Go check it out. You can also click on our sponsors that help support this show in the show notes. We also debut these on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern time over on YouTube. Just type in a keyword search, One Step Deeper. We've got one very dedicated person that's always there. Anna Code, thank you for always watching. She's always engaging in the live chat. I'm not always there right at 4, Anna, but I see you out there. So thank you for being one of our faithful ones on YouTube. But guys, go check it out on the YouTube channel on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern. You can also watch it on IGTV as well as Facebook. Put in One Step Deeper. You'll find the show on both of those formats. And then on Mondays, we are a traditional podcast over on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, and Alexa, and all the other formats that you might listen to the podcast. Go check us out on Mondays. And then finally, go leave us a review. You like the show? You obviously like the show. You keep watching the show. We know you like the show. Go leave us a review. Really helps us out and keeps this show going. But Miss Brittany, tough love. You and I are loaded for bear on this one. And let's pick up where I started before I gave the introduction. You had moments during your journey related to the scale, related to I'm not doing as well as I hoped for, related to I don't know if I can do this, just a lot of stuff. And of course, you're the kind of person that loves tough love. You're weird, by the way. A lot of people don't love it. You love it. And it was so hard for me because I'm gonna like coddle you a little bit and gently come, and you're like, no, just bam, hit me between the eyeballs. And I've learned to do that with you. I almost like it too much now. I don't like doing it, but it's making me like it too much. But I've had to walk you off the ledge on things. And you, for me, it's not like it hasn't gone both ways, but during your journey, it's been tough at times, and you've needed that tough love.
Oh, absolutely. And poor Wild Man, he's along the lines that you are. He doesn't like giving tough love. And I just remember one day on my journey when he was like, okay, I could tell he was flustered and frustrated. He's like, okay, you ready? You ready? And I was like, yeah, what's up? He's like, you about to get some tough love. I'm like, bring it, please. I need it. This is what I need. Like, you got to talk me out this stuff. Like, I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's childhood. I have no idea what it is that makes tough love motivate me so much, but it's love. It's not someone being an asshole to me. I don't respond to that at all. If you're an asshole to me, I'm going to do exactly opposite of whatever you tell me to do. Yep. But if I know it's coming from a place of, Brittany, you are spiraling, quit. I respond to that almost immediately.
And look, if someone has your best interests in mind, like you and I are best friends, you and Wildman are married, you've got people in your life that you trust inherently. You may kind of go, ooh, but then you're like, but they have my best interest in mind. It's why when you call me out, I don't dismiss you. I don't like it always, but I don't dismiss you. And I kind of go, okay, this girl loves me, so let me hear what she has to say. Whereas if it's some stranger on the internet that just kind of says something critical and seemingly tough love, and you don't get them from Adam, yeah, you're right. And tough love can only come from somebody who actually loves you.
Yeah.
That in mind, you guys, that if they don't love you, they don't have your best interest in mind, you don't really know them, it's impossible for them to give you tough love. And I've actually had people online, Brittany, say that, well, let me give you some tough love. Well, can we court a little bit and I get to know who you are before you come and love me? Right. I don't know who you are.
So this episode, Jimmy and I, obviously, we're going to talk a lot about tough love, and we're going to deliver some tough love. And I just wanted to say here, anything that we say here comes from that place of love.
Yes.
I want what is best for our listeners and our watchers. I want you guys to hear the messages that I had to tell myself, to dig myself. I dug myself, along with a couple of friends and my husband and my kids. I had this group, but mostly me. I dug myself out of this deep hole over and over and over and over again. It was me giving myself tough love, standing the fuck back up, and continuing to do what I know to do over and over and over again. And I had to deliver that to myself. And I searched for it. I found out those people like David Goggins. I eat that shit up. Anytime I watch him, I am so engaged in listening to him. Andy Frisella, I am just so engaged when I listen to these people deliver these messages, because I know they come from a place of, I've done the hard shit. I've done this tough, like, let me give you some tough love because I've done it. I've been there before. That's what I want. And so my level of relatability through this is going to be, listen, I'm not just preaching at you, telling you, giving you tough love. I have been here. I've lived every single one of these messages that I'm going to deliver today and fire off today. I have told these things to myself. Some of them I've delivered to Jimmy, to my husband. I mean, I have done this, but anybody that's listening, if you're not a tough love person, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Probably not the episode for you. Okay. If you need a little more tough, like what?
I was just going to say, maybe it is for you.
Maybe.
You think you don't like tough love because you're not used to being challenged on things and your belief system, which is what we do a lot here on this show. And it's why we titled this The Tough Love You Didn't Know You Needed. Because, look, every time I've heard something from your mouth that I didn't like, but I knew you had my best interest in mind, I initially had that little kind of wall go up. But then I'm like, okay, wall, come down. Brittany's talking to me. Let me hear from her. And sometimes I hear it and I go, okay, but what about this? And there becomes a conversation that comes from that. And then you see a little more of my heart of what I mean by what I believe and everything. And then you go, but here's another. And so ultimately, I think we could all benefit from tough love. We don't all like it because it's that initial, it's like me going in my ice bath that I do. When you first get in an ice bath, it's like, oh yeah, to get used to it. But then once you're in there for like a minute, you're like, and it feels good. And you know it's giving you benefit. And look at tough love in the same way. It's going to hurt a little bit. It's going to make you breathe heavy and kind of think through, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? But then you settle in and you go, all right. And long after you got the tough love and the ramifications of that helping you, you go, thank God. Thank God.
Yes, that's where I was. before 75 hard, I was even here on the podcast sharing information, stuff that I went through, and I feel like it was coming from a good place, but I wasn't ready to share the entirety, and if you guys watch the episodes or listen to the episodes every single week, you can almost hear it in my voice, and even Jimmy's voice as he started his journey. You can see the change on our faces, in our voice, of we're doing the work. We've delivered these tough love messages to ourselves. We've listened to these people. We've listened to the people that love us and care for us, and we're like, oh yeah. But before, like, you have to be ready. Sometimes I don't know what ready really is. Like, sometimes you just hear a statement, you're like, oh, yep, okay, I'm ready now. And mine was, I'd taken a picture with some of my friends, and I knew I had been depressed. I knew I'd been sad, and I knew I'd been anxious, and I got the diagnosis of ADHD, and there was all these things that were happening all at once. I lost a father figure in my life. I could go on and on and on at all the things that had happened to me that had got me to where I was. Did I have a legitimate reason? I don't even want to say excuse, a legitimate reason for gaining some weight and being under stress? Yeah, sure. But I looked at a picture of me with some friends, and I was like, Brittany, what have you done? What have you done to yourself? Not in a hateful, I'm so disgusted with you, but in a, Brittany, look where you used to be.
Yeah.
You used to be on the top. You were in the best shape of your life. What happened? And I know what happened, but the tough love was, nobody's going to do anything about it except for you. You're the one. You have to get off your ass and do something. Quit bitching about the pain and find a way to live with it, live through it, push through it, or rest, or you find a way, and that's where it was. I had to find a way, no matter what that way equaled. It just so happened I went a little crazy into 75 hard.
Well, great. And now you're almost accomplished it. By the time this airs, you will have accomplished it. You will have partied hard, celebrating that you had accomplished it and all the things. And so, look, you just brought up a really cool point about tough love. People often think tough love comes from someone else. You, because you like to have that, you've convinced yourself that you need to deliver the tough love to you sometimes. Sometimes it's in hearing something, seeing something that you read, but it comes from within, and you kick your own ass with tough love. And like, that's beautiful, Brittany. I don't think a lot of people have that within them. They'll say, yeah, I know I need to. They will never say, bitch, get off the couch, do this. And so you're the kind that will be that tough love to yourself. I think you're the rarity.
Maybe so. Maybe I am the rarity. I'm the rarity in a lot of other areas, so it doesn't surprise me. But I follow a couple of people in my stories, people that I've kind of attached to. And I've watched them kind of ebb and flow along the same lines of what I've done. And like, I just so want to cold message some of them and just say, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're on here complaining every single day about the same thing every single day. Quit bitching and do something about it. But obviously I wouldn't do that because you got David Goggins, Andy Frisella, and then you got the Mamsie Pamsies over here. I'm kind of in the middle of, I love you. I want to be understanding, but you need to hear it. That bitching and whining about whatever it is you got, that's not going to change the situation.
Keto can be hard. Tabulating, measuring, baking, taking 3 months to perfect one recipe, and to mixed reviews.
Did something die in here? Oh, I think it moved.
And by that point, you give up your diet, find a dark corner, and stuff yourself with sugar, carbs, and regret.
This, isn't what it looks like.
Well, this is where Keto Chow saves the day. The easiest, tastiest, ketoist meal replacement on the market.
It's like ice cream melted in my mouth.
Yes, but melted ice cream with all the protein, nutrients, vitamins, and electrolytes your body needs.
Oh, that's cool.
And with 3 starter kits, each with restaurant tips, keto food guides, and a ton of flavors to try, your taste buds and your waistline will thank you.
Thank you.
So grab your starter kit today at jimmylovesketochow.com.
It's so easy.
Keto Chow. Make keto easy.
Yeah, look, it's like what we talked about earlier. These people don't know who you are. You follow them, but they don't know who you are. So if you cold write to them and you give them tough love, it's just going to be dismissed. As someone who's an influencer and gets a lot of unsolicited tough love all the time, I would delete that and not even look at it. So it's too bad. The one that undereats and like complains about being hungry, is that the one you were telling me about?
No, yeah, there's her
That's
too,
another-
but there's another one too. But these are the same people, and I wanted to bring this up. I was watching one of your lives when you were walking outside, and someone had made a comment that really brought about this topic for me. Like I was like, "Ooh, let me at him," but I didn't want to do it in your comments. I think I did a little bit.
You have my permission to call out anybody on my live.
The person said something along the lines of, "Oh, some people have it so easy. It's so easy for some people." And I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" I'm sorry. There's going to be a lot of language in this because I'm just like upset. People look at me, and I've even had comments like, "Come in, love, oh, look at you. You look so great, must be nice." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Must be nice. I worked my ass off. Don't belittle what I've done. Don't belittle how hard I've worked to get what I have. It's not must be nice. I worked my ass off." And then there's people, these same people complaining about these things over and over and over again. Oh, my poor life and oh this and oh this. I'm just like, dude, shut up and do what I have done. It's not hard. I'm not a superhuman. I'm not special. I'm not fancy. I just did the work. I just did the thing. I stopped bitching and complaining, and I just did the thing. I wanted my body to change, and so I changed my body. I have the power to do that. I changed my diet, and I exercise. It's not that fucking hard. But people want these pills. They want these magic. They want these potions. They want these quick fixes. They want the microwave option. I'm worked up, obviously. They want the microwave option, but it's not there. It's not there. I know the body that I want. I have a picture in my brain of the body that I want. I'm not going to get there in 5 months or 6 months. It's going to take me years to get to where I want. And I'm not talking about, oh, I'm strict on Monday through Friday and then I party on the weekends. That's not going to get me to where I want. I have to do it every single day. Every single day I have to push myself. If I want to grow my mind, I have to read books every single day. If I want to learn, I have to every single day. I am pouring my entirety into this, but at the same time, listen to these people who are laying on the couch, binge watching TV, eating all the food, la 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 la, going, "Oh, my life sucks." I'm like, well, fuck you, do something about it. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, I'm fancy like Applebee's. Had to get that in there. You said, "I'm not fancy. You're fancy like Applebee's." Have you heard that song?
Yes, I have. It's a little more country than I prefer, but.
Oh, yeah. I hate country, but that's kind of a cute song. I saw Applebee's actually put it in a commercial.
Like Applebee's on a date night. Got that Bourbon Street steak with the Oreo shake and some whipped cream on the top.
Okay.
Cute. Oh, yeah, sorry. I got a little worked up there, guys.
No, look, you were loaded for bear on this one because tough love is kind of your mantra.
Yeah.
Because you come across as this sweet, innocent, beautiful, thing. And then, like blow people over the head with the tough love. And it's kind of your trademark, what we're talking about.
Love it. I really love it.
People that you do that to, by the way, a lot of people you do that to, they don't know they need it until you deliver it. In fact, I remember you talking about when you had some friends over and yeah, you just kind of casually talking and sometimes you're just listening and then you're like, so you had some childhood trauma, right? I'm hearing that. How you know? Oh, let's get into that. This is what's going on in your life. And like you're delivering tough love. That's a hard thing, by the way, because when you give tough love, it could go one way or the other. It could go, "Oh, who do you think you are? Get the heck out of here. I don't want to hear what you have to say." Or, "Thank you. I needed to hear that. And you didn't know you needed it until you heard it. And then it's that realization of I can be mad or I can be glad.
Yeah.
And eventually glad, not in the immediate, you won't feel glad, but eventually you'll be like, somebody told me something I needed to hear.
One of my favorite stories of this, I do this thing. It is something that I just do where I can casually just slip like the toughest of love, hard question to make you ask yourself, but in a nice way. I don't know. It's just a skill that I have. But my favorite story is I was over at my sister's house and she had a bunch of teenage friends over in her bedroom. And my sister and I are pretty close. So I was just there. I was just listening. And she had this friend who's loud and boisterous and like, he's awesome, you know, like, but I could just feel it, that this facade that he had was protecting himself.
Yeah.
I just knew that was a protection mechanism, that that's not who he really was when you get him quiet, when you get him on his own. And so I had never met him before, so I was a little ballsy, and I was like, how's your relationship with your father? And he was like, well, I don't really talk to him. And I said, how does that make you feel? Just like, you could see the color kind of drain out of his face. And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that loud, that you're putting on, I see through that. And I love you. And I just want to let you know that you're seen, and you don't have to put on that facade to be loved and cared for. And I love you. And he was like, oh. I just will never forget his face when I delivered that to him. I thought that was just a cute story.
Well, look, because tough love is hardly given because people fear the rejection that comes from giving it. It's rare.
Yeah.
Like you really are one of the rare ones who doesn't mind giving the tough love because you've experienced the benefit from being tough love towards you, but you also like giving it not out of a hateful heart. There's not a hateful bone in your body. If anything, you're the opposite. You love people too much sometimes and give them a lot of benefit of the doubt, which gives you kind of a tender heart and all the things that make you you. And so, yeah, so I think when you shared that with him, it was shocking because he probably knew it in his own heart of hearts, but he didn't want to face the reality until someone told him. And here you are, the sister of one of his friends, older sister of one of his friends, and you're like, he needs to hear this. And then he took it well.
Yeah. And I've done that oftentimes. I just love the teenagers. Just give me all the teenagers. I just want to hug them and hold them because I know how tough it was for me to be a teenager.
Yeah.
And so Tessa's friends, my sister, like, they're always over at my house and we're having these, or I'm over there and we're just having these conversations. A lot of that comes there. But where this comes from is I don't want anybody to have some short-term fun that's going to cost them the rest of their life. And I say fun, but what I mean is, like, the people that come home after a long day and they're like, oh, I've had such a long day. I need a bubble bath. I need a drink. I deserve this. I need this. I need this. Like, no, that's not what you need. That's what you think you need. But it's the people that chase down these comforts. Like, that's after a hard day, that's not what we need. It's not. If you did what set your soul on fire every single day, you wouldn't need to recover with a bubble bath. You wouldn't need gobs of junk food to comfort yourself. You wouldn't need to drink. You wouldn't need to smoke. Like, that's a big thing in my family. They love to get together and drink. And I rarely participate because I don't need it. I don't want to numb out. I want to feel all these feelings.
I'm going to push back on you and play devil's advocate. I agree with everything you just said, but let's have fun. Brittany, you don't understand. The job I have to have it. It's not the passion of my heart, but I got to make a living for my family. I got mouths to feed. I got mortgages to pay. Yeah, I hate my life. And so what's the harm in a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of bonbons, watching Netflix, a little bit of anything that would numb you? What's the harm in that? I need that. It takes the edge off.
Yeah, it does take the edge off, but how long are you going to stay at that dead end job? How long are you going to accept being at the low totem pole? How long are you going to accept just staying home, getting home from work every day, exhausted, tired, burnt out, you don't want to go out on the weekends, you're so exhausted you can't even clean your house? How long are you going to keep accepting that? I'm not saying you have to quit your job and then go find another one. I'm not saying it's easy to find a job. I'm not saying that any of this is easy, but I'm saying that if you want to change your life, if you want to do something with your life, if you want to be successful, you can't do that. That is not an option. If you are comfortable and satisfied with going to your job that you hate and coming home and eating bonbons and watching TV, and that's satisfactory to you, that's fine. That's okay. Don't hear me wrong. Do that. That's not enough for me. I don't want to live that life. I don't want to live the life where I go to work and work all day. I'm exhausted. I barely get time with my kids, and I come home and I just numb out on all the things. I don't want that life. I want to be set on fire. I want my soul. I want to be burning from the inside. I want to wake up at 3:45 in the morning ready to fucking go, which I have been.
Yes. Now that is tough love that you just gave. But there's people that are perfectly fine living that life of what you just described. Get up, go to work, hate it, but do the job, bring home the money, take care of family, and then they die. And they do that their whole life. There's no adventure. There's no sense of wonder. There's no sense of wanting more. I know you well enough. Even when you get more, you're going to want more, and then more, and then more. And look, I've been highly successful at what I podcasting, book writing, all the things that I've done. And I don't even feel like I've just begun my work. That's how motivated I am. That's how tough love I give myself of, don't think you've arrived, boy. You ain't done nothing yet. That's the way my brain works. And so this tough love from within, maybe that's where people need to start. If you start speaking to yourself in tough love language, when someone else gives it to you, it's probably something you've already kicked your own ass about. So that could be a place where people start.
Yeah, listen, quit being a whiner and be a winner. Like, it's literally that simple. Quit bitching and just win. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
Did you read that in a David Goggins book? Stop being a whiner and become a winner.
Andy Frisella.
Oh, you're going to someday that's going to have all these little quips of your own in there. Yeah, you just need to feel the feels, but then I'm going to hit you if you don't do it. So.
See, another thing that I hear oftentimes is, you kind of came back at me, but Brittany, you don't understand. Here's the one that I get all the time, but Brittany, you don't know what I went through.
Yes.
Okay, you are right. I don't know your life. I don't know your story. I don't know the ins and outs and the trauma that you have been through. And I'm not saying, well, I can do it. Anybody can do it. That's bullshit too. But I am telling you, you can take your pain and your scars, and the pain and the scar can become the legacy of your life. Yes. Or the progress that you made in spite of the pain and the scars can become the legacy of your life. And that is me. That is me. I want people to look in on my life, and not even people. Let me take that back. I want to look in on my life and go, I went through this. I almost died, la, 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 all the things. And I still fucking did it. Like, that's what I want. I want to look back on my deathbed and go, I didn't waste a single fucking second. Now, I have wasted some seconds in my life, but I want to know that I killed it at every single set. Like, if I wanted to get something, I got it. Wild Man, poor Wild Man. Let's just take a moment of silence. Poor Wild Man. But he will tell you, when we got together, we lived in a nothing place. I mean, we lived behind his parents in a house that was falling apart. We had nothing but the love that we have for each other. And I'm not even exaggerating. That's all we had was the love that we shared together. That was it. And I always wanted more. And it wasn't a selfish thing. It wasn't selfish at all. It was, I am going to get what I want out of this life. And I'm going to use all these pain and all this scar. I'm going to throw it in my cookie jar. I've used that story before. And I am going to get all that I want out of this life in spite of these things. They're going to push me. They're going to motivate me. I'm not going to let them stop me. And I had to, again, tough love of Brittany. You've had a hard life. So what? So has everybody else. Everybody. We trick ourselves in thinking that we're the only ones that go through hard things. That's a lie that we tell ourselves. Every single person on this planet has gone through something hard. Some people have it harder. I don't like comparing traumas here, but like, some people just have gone through more than you have. But that doesn't mean that what you faced wasn't hard for you. Listen, I had never lost anybody quite as close as when I lost Mr. Chris. And I have, behind closed doors, I've really, really struggled with that. I still cry, I still get upset. It still rocks me. But what am I going to do? And like, I've literally asked myself this question. Am I going to lay on the couch and cry that he's not here? Or am I going to work my ass off and know that wherever he is fucking proud of me for standing back up after losing him, after him not being here, what am I going to do now? And that's really, there's you some tough love. That's a question you can ask yourself. Something hard happens to you, something breaks you, something tears you down. Don't think on it. Go, okay, what am I going to do now? What is my response to this? I'm fired up.
No, and I'm loving today the energy that we're having on this show today. I'm really enjoying. So it's got you so fired up. You're coughing off camera. So it's wonderful. I know you're worked up when you got the Auburn University. What are they, like 3-0, 4-0 now? So they're winning a lot. Let's put it that way. They're ranked this year. They're not usually ranked. So
yeah,
they're
too good.
So get Alabama at the Iron Bowl, and I'll be happy because I don't like it.
Same. We can lose all year long, and if we win the Iron Bowl, I'm good.
Yes, exactly.
Real Good Foods is one of the fastest growing frozen food companies in the U.S. Everything they make is nutrient dense, high in protein, low in carbs, and made from real food ingredients. They make food for every occasion: breakfast sandwiches, poppers, enchiladas, entrees, and pizza. So whether you're on a keto diet, trying to cut back on your carbs, or just trying to eat healthier, they make super convenient and tasty options. RealGoodFoods.com and at Real Good Foods on social media.
So, yeah. Tough love. Let's get into why it's so hard for people to hear it. We've already kind of touched on a few of the things, but people don't want to hear it. Is it just because they know the truth and they're trying to deny it? Is it because it hurts too much to hear bluntly what the issue is in their life and they're not ready to change? Is it a combination of a lot of things? What's going on?
I think many times, number one, people already know what they need to do, but they're looking for a different answer.
Yes, the easier path.
Yeah, I have someone who I love deeply and dearly in my life, and I've watched them fumble and fall and cry and have panic attacks, and I want to deliver tough love to them so bad. Like, I want to have just a sit down conversation. I can't just call up and be like, here's some tough love. It has to come naturally. It has to be one of those conversations where we're just in the room together and they're venting and having an opportunity to deliver some of these things. But it's so hard because this person is looking for a different answer. The answer that they want is not the answer that I'm going to give.
Yes.
That's part of the tough love. And I think people don't want to hear it because, number one, they already know. But number two, it's not the answer they want. They don't want me to. When people come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, how have you lost this weight? I ate less and I moved more. And people hate that. They hate that. They're like, don't tell me that. And I'm like, okay, that's what I did. There's no special sauce. If you want to get out of a dead end relationship, there's no special in sauce. There's no special sauce. It's time to part ways. If you want to leave a job that's not valuing you, there's no special sauce. There's walking away. That's it. It's
okay.
it's really it.
Okay. Bye, guys. Oh, you know better. I'm back. This is the best job I have, is podcasting.
Well, yeah, and even with podcasting, when people message you and like, oh, I want to start a podcast, and you're like, okay, do it.
Yeah,
what are you waiting on? And they're like, oh, but I need this and this and this. No, you don't. You got a phone? Yeah, you got a high quality phone? Yeah. Well, okay, there you go.
You know what tough love is? It's convincing people of the things that they're capable of, and they don't even know it yet. You, my dear, starting this crazy podcast, I had to tough love the hell out of you. Because you were like, Jimmy, I don't have experience. Jimmy, I don't this. I'm like, you're good. We talk all the time. I know good talent when I see it and hear it. And all of that was culminating to me of, we need to do a podcast together. And so I had to deliver a lot of tough love. And here's something about tough love. It's not always immediate. You could deliver a message, they kind of hear it and kind of ruminate on it. And then you reinforce it again and again and again. And then suddenly they're like, Oh, so if you're one of those people that's kind of hesitant about delivering tough love, just do it and watch what happens. Like, but do it with the right heart, like we're talking about here. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a hater. Genuinely love the person you're telling this to. Show them compassion and be all the things to them. But tough love is probably the greatest sign of actual love there is. It's easy to love people who love you and love people who are okay. It's hard to love people that got stuff going on in their lives. You and I both have had stuff going on in our lives the last 2.5 years we've been friends. Stuff, like major stuff. And yet through it all, we've delivered some tough love to one another. And I'm grateful for some of the tough love you gave me and you still give me, and vice versa. So it's one of those, you have to do it to make it a reality.
I think it's important to point out the difference in tough love. And we've given those examples, and then the difference of being an asshole. If you had come to me and were venting to me about all the things that have been happening in your life, and I was like, just fucking get over it, Jimmy. No, that's gaslighting, and that's being an asshole, and that's not tough love. If I said, you know what, that's really tough, that's really hard, and I'm sorry you're going through that, but what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And not in a, what are you going to do about it, but in a, what's your response? Are you going to let it tear you down? Are you going to let it break you? Are you going to become better because of it?
You know what you did there? You met them where they were, and then you delivered the tough love. You have to set the stage. They have to trust you. They have to care about you and what you have to say. And so if you show others, they don't care how much you know or want to say and how much tough love you have until they see how much you care about them and show them love. And so I love that approach of, that had to be hard. I can't imagine what it was like. Like, let's role play you be in the hospital. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You almost died. Like, I don't even want to imagine what it was like wanting to die in a hospital bed at the age of 27. I don't want to know what that was like, but I'm glad you made it through. Now, you've been at this a little while since that happened. What's happening in your life? This is like you leading up to 75 Hard. I know you got like all these dreams up here, but is there something you can do that you don't hurt yourself, but then you still challenge yourself? Can you work on that? That's a tough love kind of statement.
Yeah, and I love it. And listen, some people, I'm raising my hand on this one. This was me. Some people are so full of anxiety about life that they don't live life.
Yes.
And after what happened to me in the hospital and the pain that I felt, was there a sense of realness and understanding there? Absolutely. Absolutely. But today, I kicked my own ass in the gym because I, for 73 days now, have put it off and put it off and put it off. I've worked on my core, but I've done only like rehabilitation, breathing, slow. Okay. I didn't want to injure myself. But it was anxiety. I was so full of anxiety to see what I could do that I didn't do it. I was so full of fear that I wouldn't even try. And so today I had one tough ab exercise on my list to do. That's it. I was like, I need to try one tough, and it was captain's chair. If you don't know what it is, you're kind of holding yourself up by your elbows and you're lifting your legs straight up in front of you.
It hurts.
And I was like, there's no way I can do this. I have no core. And I've told myself that. It's a lie that I've told myself over and over again. I have too much pain. I can't do that. It's gonna hurt me. I have no core. It's destroyed. I'll never have it back. I'll never have abs and la 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 la. All the things. La la is my favorite word today, I guess.
La 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 la.
And today it was the last one on my list. And so I had saved it for last, and I was like, shut the fuck up, Brittany, and just do the damn thing. Like, I'm literally in the gym. People probably thought I was crazy because I had my headphones in, my music blaring. I was just over there just like, and just like talking to myself, like, you're going to do this. And I got on and I freaking did it. Did I do 15? Nope. Did I do 10? No. Did I do 7? Hell yeah, I did. And I am so proud. I'm not in pain. I'm not hurting. But I was so full of anxiety for so long. Same thing before 75 hard. I was so full of fear and so full of anxiety and just whining and bitching about my life and where I was, that I wasn't doing anything. And I had to face those anxieties and face those fears and understand the only way to make it better is to do the hard thing. That's the only way to make it better. And so I did the hard thing. No pain, no problem. I did 4 sets. And I'll keep going and I'll keep building until I have the core that I want to have.
All the while, you still have the battle wounds of the scars on your stomach. So you could look down and see that and say, But then the tough love within your head said, Brittany, you're ready. Like, I'm proud. I mean, it would be something to try that and then you felt pain, you would have stopped.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you would have recognized. But I think the pain in your head superseded the actual pain. And so that's where the tough love comes in, is how long is that going to be an excuse, a crutch? And it was a legitimate one. Let's be very clear. You had a long road over this past almost 2 years now. It's been not quite 2 years, but almost 2 years since that happened. And so it took a very long time. I'd say probably a year and a half for you to like heal enough to want to do this 75 hard. And then here you are 2 days before you're ending the 75 hard, which you're continuing with the extended program, but
yeah,
end of it and saying, I want to push myself. I found that in my own journey, by the way, where I have wanted to push myself. Like when we're done here recording today, I haven't been able to flip the tire since I hurt my back. And now the back's feeling good. And I'm like, it's 85 degrees out there and I want to go flip the tire because I'm ready for that next challenge. And it all started with tough love saying, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? You want to change your body, but what are you doing about it? You want to up your game. You want to be an example. You want to be all the things that you are, but what are you going to do? And so now you kind of get in there and you do all the things. And then you're like, what else can I do? And it just kind of gets the wheels turning. I'm excited to watch your next part of your journey.
Oh, I am fired up. And that's it. If you want to learn how to give yourself tough love, but love, that's the question to ask yourself. What now? What are you going to do now? And so part of the program that I'm doing right now is you put some weight on whatever exercise that you're doing. And if you can get 10 reps on it, you push your weight up. And if you can't get 10, like the goal is to get to 8 reps. If you can get to 10, time to move up in weight. And like, that's it. When I get to 10, I'm like, ooh, what am I going to do now? And it's just this teeny tiny bit. But going back to that, this is why people don't keep going. This is why they stop. This is why they stop giving themselves tough love, because they don't see the progress as fast as they want. There's this trick here. They don't see the progress as fast as they want. Not that they don't see it. It's not going as fast as they want, so they quit. And this is not just physical change here, guys. We're talking in a relationship, in your job, in your whatever. The problem is not that you have an incorrect plan. It's that you haven't worked the plan for long enough. Like it's mostly that's what it is. You just haven't done the thing long enough to see results. And you haven't made the conscious decision to just keep going. Like this kind of goes into, the last couple episodes, but there's the tough love. Ask yourself, what am I going to do now? What now? What comes next? I'm not getting to the end of 75 and going, woo, party time. I did it. Nothing. No, I'm going, what now? I have been thinking about, I told Jimmy this morning. I have been thinking about day 76 since day 1. I have been planning what comes next. I'm not stopping. I'm not quitting. That's the tough love I've given to myself. When people are on this journey and they're like, oh, I'm so close to 75. I'm just like, okay, I'm so close to this speed bump. Ooh, like that's it. There's no stop sign. It's just a little bump, little slow down, little bump, and here we go again. Like that's where I'm at. And the tough love question was, what next? We keep doing it.
And I don't think that way. I think And you even expressed in our conversation this morning off the air that that's what messed you up in your keto journey, when you were keto and you had no game plan for day 76 as your 75 hard. You had no game plan for when you hit your goal. You hit your goal weight and you lost your purpose. And that's when you needed somebody. I wasn't in your life at that time, but you needed somebody in your life that could have delivered you some tough love and say, Britt, what do you mean? What's next? You've arrived, my dear. Go get stronger. Go do this. Go do that. Could have like guided you with some tough love at the moment, but you spiraled.
I did. I spiraled a lot. And what I should have done is set some boundaries.
Stop shooting yourself. We're going back to old episodes. You
I
guys.
love it. I love it. I love it.
But yes, boundaries is one we're going to hit here very soon. That is something that you harp on quite a bit here on the One Step Deeper podcast. So we're going to do a whole episode just on boundaries coming up soon. But this tough love issue, I'm so glad we're hitting it, because a lot of what we do on this show is predicated on giving our listeners and our viewers tough love. Like, we know some of the messages we share, you ain't liking, and good, you're welcome. Because we know, having been through the School of Hard Knocks, both of us, still going through a lot of those School of Hard Knocks, we know what we're sharing might be convicting to you, but we know it's helping you. We love you. We literally do this show as a labor of love. We're not making tons of money doing this. We're doing it as a labor of love for each other and for you guys, because we know this is messages that can help you.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm just like ruminating on all the things that I've said, and I'm just like want to scream and just yell, but I'm trying to hold that back.
Well, I mean,
this was it. This podcast, One Step Deeper, literally is the epitome of tough love. Like, that's what I want to bring. Is I love you guys, everybody that listens, the kind of, the friendship that Jimmy and I have made. Tough love. Like, it's a lot of tough love. Most weeks it's, he calls me and he's talking to me about this thing or that thing, and I listen and I validate, and then I'm like, okay, what you gonna do about it? And same thing, vice versa. He does the same thing to me. What was it? It was very recent that you're like, I'm just gonna give you some tough love, and you're like, this makes me uncomfortable, but I'm about to do it.
I think I said, are you ready for it? And you're like, bring it. It was one time, an hour before we got on the air for a recording here a few weeks ago. Okay. And yeah, you were like, I'm just not feeling. I said, you ready? Bitch, stop. That's the thing I said out of my mouth. And you're like,
yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yes. But see, I love it. I love I even like that kind of comedy. The punchline, not the subtle, like the in-your-face punchline type of stuff. I seek that out. And if you want tough love, obviously Jimmy and I give it here with One Step Deeper. But like, seek out those people who are going to feed that into you. If you're new to tough love, but you're interested, seek out the people who are going to give it to you. Andy Frisella has a podcast called Real AF, and I just got it this morning. AF also stands for Andy Frisella. I was like, what? I got it. Whole marketing. But it took me a minute. Anyway, that's a side note. If you want some tough love, go listen. He has these great, 10 to 30 minute episodes. He does some other episodes that are longer that I don't really get into. But the 10 to 30 minute episodes are just punchline, in your face, tell you like it is. That is so much gold there. If I'm having a hard day and I can't give myself tough love, that's all right. I'm gonna go find Andy and let Andy give me some tough love. David Goggins. I loved it. I think I even told this story on the podcast before. He put up an Instagram story or live or IGTV or something where he was on his bike and he had a plan that he was going to get to a certain number. And then somebody came in, didn't know who he was because he uses an alias when he's racing on the bike. I guess he had Peloton or something. And somebody started racing him. And he's like, oh, they don't know. They don't know. I'm about to deliver. And him pushing himself made the other person push themselves. And it was like this beautiful ride of keep going, which inspired the hell out of me. And I was like, I gotta go do something. I gotta go walk. I gotta move my body, because I was so inspired. And so I seek these people out, given the tough love of do the thing. I seek them out. I love it. I thrive. Jimmy knows.
I'm gonna drop a bomb on everyone now. Drop the bomb on me, baby. So, you ready? Everybody, you ready? If you don't have people in your life that deliver you tough love, then you don't have any friends. Hear me? A real friend is unafraid to go there. A real friend will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And a real friend isn't going to coddle you and yes man you. They're going to sometimes call you out. And if you don't have those people in your life, I'm sorry. They might be great acquaintances. They might be great watching football together with them. They might be great to hang out-ish a little bit, but you're not having a deep, meaningful relationship with someone that's not willing to call you out.
I love it. That is so true. And evaluate your friendships.
Yes.
And evaluate where you are. Evaluate the people in your life. Are they willing to call you out? You know, I had a very real, kind of scary family thing happen recently. And I had to be the one
Yes.
to sit next to this person and go, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't like, oh, it's so hard. It's okay. No. Like, I gave love and understanding of, hey, I understand why you are where you are, but we're not just going to lay down and quit. Okay, we're going to keep going. And I had to give the tough love. I'm sorry. I kind of love that kind of stuff, though. I love giving tough love. But yeah, if you don't have those people in your life, might time to be looking a little closer into your friendships.
It's why you and I work as friends, because I've learned to be a little harder on giving the tough love and accepting it. That was not easy for me. You were a pro at it when we met, so I didn't have any problem with you, but it was me giving you the tough love. In fact, you even said that to Wildman and to me both, of just give it to me. Just give it to me. But again, you're the rarity. Most people, they need that little arm around the neck and it's going to be okay. But what next? They need that. So you can deliver it. Is there anybody you should never give tough love to? A narcissist? It's true. Because look, they won't take it. They won't get it because they think they're perfect. They think what they're doing is all out. And so, yeah, it's funny. We said it at the exact same time, a narcissist, because we have those people in our lives.
Don't waste your breath trying to convince a narcissist that they need to change or that they don't, because they're so cunning and clever most times that they will turn your tough love and push it on you. Yes. And you will feel like shit. Don't do it. Run away. Go away. Don't try. Do not try to better a narcissist. Don't. You are wasting your time. Promise.
Because a narcissist will literally say right back to you whatever you're saying to them as the tough love. They'll throw it right back on you and gaslight the hell out of you of you're guilty of the very thing that they themselves are guilty of. We did a whole episode on narcissism. This is the One Step Deeper recap episode, all the references to past episodes, but we're at 42 now. So we've got a few under the belt.
I think this was a great episode because we did take all of the past episodes and then we just pushed together all the tough love. Most episodes we get a lot of information, we get a lot of love, a lot of care, and then a couple little tough love moments. And this was just like push it all together, like just a whole episode of going in and going hard.
And that's okay. I think there's a moment for going softer and there's a moment for going harder and knowing when those moments are. It's not always crystal clear, guys. So don't think that we figured it out. You know, if Brittany talks to me and she tries to give me tough love and I'm not ready for it because I'm dealing with something she doesn't know about, I'll be like, hang on. What about this? And they're like, oh, I didn't know that was going on. Let's deal with that first and then the tough love. So read the room a little bit. This is going to take a little bit of time. Miss Thang here is the expert, so go check her out, becoming.brittany over on Instagram. If you have any questions about working your way through that, I'm Living Low Carb Man on Instagram. Go connect with us. We do like to talk to you guys, and anything that we ever talk about on this podcast, please feel free to reach out to us. We may give you some tough love, but it'll be for your benefit and not for your detriment.
Yes.
So guys, that was episode 42, the tough love you didn't know you needed. Hopefully by now you realize tough love is not a negative thing. It literally is love, just delivered in a little different way than coddling. Tough love is, I care about you, and because I care about you, I'm going to do this. And it harkens back to childhood when they say, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you, and they discipline you. That's not tough love. They say that, but it's gross. No, that was horrible right before they beat the shit out of me. But that's another story for another day. Why don't you close us out?
Oh, goodness. Thank you guys for being here. And because I love you and I want to give tough love, make sure you go check out all the past episodes where you're going to get a whole dose of tough love over and over and over again. And go one step deeper and keep going. So website, onestepdeeperpodcast.com. All the past episodes are over there. YouTube, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's where the episodes come out first. And you can watch Jimmy and I over there. After that, same time, Facebook, Instagram, they usually go up on Facebook, One Step Deeper Podcast, Facebook community, and then on Instagram, One Step Deeper Podcast on Instagram. It's a lot of times to say that. Jimmy also puts it up on his page on Living Low Carb Man. I put up the tidbits on my personal page, becoming.brittany. I love the tidbits. They're just little snippets, and I can't wait for this tidbit. It's just going to really punch. You pull out the best parts of the show and put them in the tidbit as the tough love.
It's like a movie trailer. You show the best parts of the movie to get people to watch the whole movies.
I'm telling you, I love it. I live for those. We are a regular podcast. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, ALEXA. Those come out on Monday. And lastly, leave us a review. We love to hear from you guys. Thank you, Anna, over on YouTube. We love you. Thank you so much. Yes. But leave us a review wherever you listen. But Apple Podcast. Anywhere you listen but Apple Podcast. And not what Apple Podcast. That came out wrong. You know what I'm going to say. Oh, gosh. Anyway.
So, we've got some cool topics coming up here, which, by the way, we are taking off the month of December. We want to give you a heads up on this. Don't freak out if you don't see any in the month of December. Brittany and I have lives, and we're going to try to live them. Plus, we're trying to finish up this book that we've been working on, the One Step Deeper Journal. So we're going to use a little bit of that time to work on the book. Set to come out early next year sometime, so look for that in 2022. But we have a ton of topics here over the next few weeks. Check us out. Don't miss an episode. Come back, you guys. And thanks so much for being here today. And Brittany, we'll see you again next week.
See ya.
OneStepDeeperPodcast.com.
Buddy, I gotta tell y'all about something. This fancy little drink right here. This only has 3 ingredients: water, ice, and element. I'm so excited to be partnered with Element right now for the One Step Deeper podcast. Oh my god, let me tell you. Look at all these gorgeous electrolytes. They have so many delicious flavors, but my absolute favorite, and the one you saw me sipping on, was the citrus one, because let me tell you, it's like sipping on a margarita. So good. So if you're interested in trying these amazing electrolytes for yourself, you can go to drinklmnt.com/Jimmy for your free sample there. No, seriously, it's a free sample. All you have to do is pay the shipping. You got to try these, I'm telling you. So good.